तो हमें प्रोफेसर मंजू मैम गुप्ता के साथ, सो थैंक यू मैम, आप इतना वक्त देती हैं बच्चों के लिए।
as long as it is helping people.
तो मुझे लगता है कि आपने जितनी यूनिवर्सिटीज़ बाहर कवर करी हैं, तो आप बेस्ट सजेशन या एडवाइस दे सकते हैं बच्चों को, क्योंकि जो बच्चे बाहर से आते हैं वो जनरली बच्चे ही होते हैं, तो वो क्या गाइडेंस देते हैं
And another thing which I have observed is the most of the videos, if you look around on YouTube or which normally students follow, they are made by the youngsters, boys like them. They will not tell them the perspective of elders or the parents along with their decision, because now I tell you, when I started with this, that there's huge generation gap. So if parents also know what happens, and if they know the perspective of seniors, maybe professors, what they have to say about it, I think it really makes sense.
जैसे कि हमने दो एपिसोड इस सीरीज के कर लिए हैं, तो अब थर्ड एपिसोड में हम प्रोसेस की बात करने वाले हैं कि क्या क्या प्रोसेस होते हैं। जैसे हमने सीयूईटी का एग्ज़ाम कवर किया था, तो ये सीयूईटी से थोड़ा अलग है, तो क्या प्रोसेस है इसका?
Comparing this with CUET, I think is comparing something with something absolutely different. In CUET, we are at the local level where we are talking about the admission to central universities. You give a competitive exam, you get a rank, and on the basis of rank, you get an admission. This is what they don't ask you for anything else. But if you are planning to go to an international university outside India, it's a lengthy process, meaning you have to prepare. In CUET, you just prepared for 1 month, but here you have to prepare for 1 or 2 years before you actually get admitted in any of the universities. So it's a much, much longer process, and it's not like a competitive exam. Rather, it thoroughly checks your inside out, meaning what you are good at, what are your aspirations, and whether you will be fit for that course or not. So the criteria is absolutely different here if you are going to the international university for study.
तो हम जैसे कि अभी आपने कहा कि इस प्रोसेस में 1.5-2 साल तो लग जाते हैं, तो मैं आपसे जानना चाहता हूँ कि वो इस मेन स्टेप्स या फिर स्टेप वाइज कैसे करते हैं वो?
The step begins the moment you have come to the university, and I know many of my audience is Delhi University students. So even if you are in first year, the first step is to take care of your grades. Your grades should be good, because no one wants the students with the poor grades, right? See, first thing is take care of your grades in your graduation, meaning undergraduation, that your grades are good. The next step is, as you decided, it will depend on which you have to give additional exams. That could be GRE, that could be TOEFL, that could be SAT. It depends on what course you are choosing. That may be GMAT also if you plan to go for MBA. So depending upon your selection of course, you would have to appear in many exams. And again, appearing is not going to solve your problem. You have to have a score which is acceptable by the other university. And for that, you would have to study very hard so that you are accepted and you get a good score. Again, I would say, like I told you earlier, there are several softwares. Here you have lots of coaching institutes, and the exam usually is of your academic and then of general ability, maths, and on the basis of these exams you get scores. And English also, I told you already. So it depends on which university, which course, what they want. Like if you plan for US, they will look for your GRE and then TOEFL for your English course. So you have to appear in these courses in the meantime and get a good score. Maybe you have to appear in the exam for more than one time. This is one thing. And another thing is the course specific. This is the university specific and the course specific. Like, say, for example, you again want to study climate research. You want to work in climate change area, and if you want to work in climate change area, then you would have to write in your application, you would have to write a SOP. What is SOP? A statement of purpose, meaning you will tell, meaning they will judge your personality on the basis of that. What is your purpose of pursuing this course? Does it inspire you from your childhood, or how you take it? What is your vision, or you are actually capable of doing that or not? So SOP is one thing. Then there is one called as LOR, that is letter of recommendation, which you should get from your professors. And then they look at your transcripts, that what is your overall, academic background, what have you studied and how you have performed. And they also consider your financial status. So these 4 things you have to work on in this 1.5 year or 2 years to know that how will you manage yourself financially if you go to that university. Then you have to have SOP, you have to have contact with your, so if you decide this in first year, then only you will work with different professors in your internship so that you get good recommendations from them. So it's a long process of 1 or 2 years. It's not like CUET that you gave the exam, you got a rank, and on the basis of that you got the admission.
मैम ये ट्रांसक्रिप्ट क्या होते हैं, मतलब इंडिया में तो मैंने कभी ऐसा सुना नहीं है.
Transcript is you know the mini form of, or transcript is made up by all our mark sheets, meaning it summarizes your educational background. Like meaning it's a different form of mark sheet. In our country we give mark sheets. In mark sheets what happens, say for your BSc mark sheet or your 12th mark sheets, it's written that you have studied English, biology, physics, chemistry, and you got these many marks. So our focus more is on, but in transcript they tell you overall in your graduation that you have studied the, meaning it's just a gist of all your academic background. And because foreign universities ask about that, now our universities also have started issuing transcript on request, but they issue only on request. But transcript is one document which tells you about all your academic background. It is issued by the university.
और मैम ये LOR क्या है?
LOR is letter of recommendation. What is that? You know, earlier we used to have practical exams in sciences, so students usually used to bother for the teachers that they have practical marks. Now the students are not bothered for anything. But anyway, those students who want to go abroad, there is one called as letter of recommendations. Many students ask me for letter of recommendation, and what normally I do is that you draft it for yourself, send it to me, and I will add it. That also works, but letter of recommendation from everyone is not going to work. Letter of recommendation of good people will work. So it's again a form of networking. While you are studying, you have to have a network of seniors with whom you have worked. And good LOR makes a difference, because after the admission process, I said, you have cleared the exam with good marks, you have good SOP, good LOR, good transcripts, then you will be called for the interview. And before being called, they look at this thing, that what are your aspirations, who people are recommending you, what are those people. So recommendation also matters. So again, what I'm saying to the students who are doing undergraduation and wishes to do post-graduation from abroad, look at the faculty who has an international repute, who are known for their fields, work with them in internship in summer programs, and try to get good quality letter of recommendation. That is actually going to help. So this again, students don't bother, will see the exams. You know, getting admission outside India is not just what marks you have. It's not only the grades. They judge you for everything. What are your grades? What is your dream, aspirations? Which people like you? And what is your overall academic this thing? Apart from this, financial also makes huge difference. Financial aid, whether how will you manage yourself there financially? That also they judge you, and they'll ask you every time in the interview and in your letter, in your admission, that from where the funding is going to come for your admission or study abroad.
तो मैम अब ये वाला प्रोसेस तो डन कि ठीक है, अब हमें प्रोसेस भी पता लग गया, हमें ये भी समझ आया कि हमें मास्टर्स करनी है बाहर से. अब एक थर्ड स्टेप शायद वीज़ा और दूसरी बाकी चीज़ों का भी है. तो हम अगली बात करते हैं अगले टॉपिक और अगली वीडियो में.